Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I know you guys love seeing these videos, and I figured I might as well drop another one. And jailbreaking is one of the coolest things ever, and I never really got into it too much until this year. I did tutorials here and there, but I never really had like multiple devices that were jailbroken until this day, especially up until this year. So I'm not going to show you how to jailbreak your iPhone or whatever like that. I'll leave links in the description of how to jailbreak really any iPhone or any iOS version, but I want to talk about the iPhone 6s specifically and how it holds up as a jailbroken phone in 2020. Now, I did the same exact video for the iPhone 5s as well as the iPhone 6, and like I said, a lot of you guys liked it, and I feel like jailbreaking your phone just gains so much value for really any phone in the market. And the best thing about these older iPhones is they're really cheap, and when you jailbreak them and install tweaks, and I'll tweaks linked down in the description, so you can always just copy the repos and just go straight to Cydia and install them. But a lot of these tweaks are not even on regular iOS or even on iOS or on iPhones, the newer iPhones. So on the iPhone 11 Pros, the iPhone 11s, a lot of these phones do not have the capability of doing any type of feature like this, which is so insane. So technically on an older iPhone you have more capability than on a newer one, which it isn't 100% accurate. I mean, there are some cases like that, but this jailbreak is semi-untethered, which I think means that when you reboot it, you have to jailbreak it every time, and that's what's been happening to me. However, as long as you're near a computer or you can install Uncover on your phone, then you'll be set for the most part. So there's still a lot of cool features with iOS 13. This thing is still getting the most up-to-date versions as of right now, but even if iOS 13 is the last version of software that this phone is getting, it will still live on with jailbreak tweaks for sure. And the best thing about this phone is that, like I said, it's not the newest one, it doesn't cost like the newest one. It's a very good value. I think these things are selling for about $130 on Amazon. So I'll leave these linked down in the description. If you want to pick them up from there, you can help support the channel at the same time. And like I said, all names and repos will be linked down in the description. You can go ahead and install them from there. Now, the first tweak I want to hit on is Clean Home Screen. Now, this is one that I usually install every single time, and this allows you to have so much flexibility with that home screen. It allows you to do a lot of cool different things, and specifically the thing I like doing with this specific tweak is actually taking away the app names and even the lock screen info. So it makes it look much more minimalistic. It makes it look much more, I think, appealing to me. So whenever I go and unlock my home screen, it makes this phone feel like above the iPhone 11 and 11 Pro. It just looks so minimalistic, and as long as you kind of know what app you're looking for, you can still search it from the search bar, but it just takes away that name, which is something I really do like. You can also take away that dock background and make this thing look like a sleek piece of machinery in a way. Me personally, I like having that dock background on because one of my tweaks is actually kind of modifying that. And there's a lot of cool other things you can do with this tweak too, but Clean Home Screen is definitely one that you should install if you're interested in it. Like I said, all these names will be linked down. Now, my second thing, the iPhone 6s, it isn't extremely slow. It's not a super slow device, but there are ways with jailbreak tweaks that you can actually improve it and make this thing even better of its experience overall. And this specific tweak is no slow animations, and this is something that I really do like, and it just, again, breathes so much more life into an older device like this. The 6s, like I said, isn't extremely slow, but what this specific tweak does is that it makes those animations of closing things, opening things, going things like that, and makes it so much faster and almost instantaneous. So when you click on an app, it almost opens up immediately. Now, there's a caveat to this. The animation is faster, but technically speaking, the app opening speed, so to load up a game or something like that, is still going to be the same exact time. So if you clicked on Real Racing 3, getting it to the front home screen would be faster, but actually loading into the game would not be any faster. But still, it gives the illusion, and it technically is faster. It just gives the illusion that it is a little bit quicker than usually it's not. So it's really cool if you're really quickly going into apps all the time and you're hopping out and hopping back in. That's something that gives you a little bit more, edge when it comes down to the performance side of things. And I'm curious to see how it performs against a non-jailbroken iPhone. And I did a video like this, I think last year, but I might do another one again because that is super interesting. And the fact that I have so many tweaks on it with speed tweaks, I'm curious to see what happens. But that one is no slow animations. This next one, which is one I talked about heavily, is Modern Dock. And what this does is that if you see my dock on the bottom, you can see that I actually have that newer style dock on my specific iPhone 6s. And this is the dock that kind of came with the iPhone 10 and the iPhone 10s and all those ones. However, with these type of style phones, the 6s included, it doesn't have that newer dock. And that's something that I don't really like. I mean, I like having that newer dock over the older one, but with this tweak you actually have that capability, so it makes it more rounded, and that's something that I really do like. So it doesn't really add any functionality. I thought there was a way to actually get into some multitasking panel and stuff, but I guess not. But that one is Modern Dock, something that I really do like. Now, another speed tweak that I actually hit on in my other videos that are also hit on here is the accelerated home button. And what this does is that it basically unlocks a little bit more speed, I guess, into your whole entire experience. So just like no slow animations, when you click on the home screen, there is a visible delay that when you click on it, it takes like an extra second for it to register, and then it closes the app. Whereas on this one, if you enable this, it actually takes away that visible delay. So it's pretty much just like no slow animations. You hit on the home button and the app almost instantaneously goes down. And if you want to get into the multitasking panel, double click that home button and it just makes everything that much quicker. And like I said, this is the one case where it might actually speed up the phone and speed up your use case of using it every single day, just because it's that much quicker into exiting apps, opening apps, and things like that. And on an older iPhone like this one that still has the home button, that might seem like an archaic way of going about it to accelerate something like, an older thing like that, but it's still a cool capability. And at the end of the day, I really do like this thing for having that type of capability, and I still like Touch ID, and the fact that this thing can have a faster home button is really, really cool. So that one is accelerated home button. Now, one of my favorite features that I always hit on, and is probably my favorite jailbreak tweak overall, and you guys know I couldn't make this video without doing this one, and that is the tweak of picture-in-picture. And force-in-picture allows you to do this. That's the name of the tweak. And one thing I don't understand about Apple is why they haven't incorporated this into stock iOS anyway. I mean, it's been years and years. iPads have had it for a long time, and Macs have had it for as long as I can remember, and it's one of the coolest features ever. And the fact that our iPhones still don't have it is just insane to me. I hope iOS 14 brings it. But what this allows you to do is, if you're watching a YouTube video, or really I think any video at all, you can pop that video down and you can just go on Reddit while you're watching the video, or you can go on Twitter and scroll through, and that's something that's really, really cool. And I was surprised to see that it doesn't really slow down the phone at all. It handles everything pretty much fine, so that was something that I was really shocked about. So for sure, at the end of the day, Force in Picture is one of my favorite tweaks ever, and I really, really hope that Apple can push this over to stock iOS. That way people who don't even jailbreak their phones can still have that capability. So Force in Picture, one of my favorite tweaks ever. Now, kind of going along with that, if you guys remember with iOS 11, Apple did this weird thing where if you go to this control center and you actually turn off the Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, it doesn't actually turn it off. And that was one of the weirdest things ever. I don't really understand that, and I'm not really too sure why they did that. I mean, it kind of makes sense because of the AirPods and other things like that. They didn't disconnect. But with CC modules, you can actually go and disable those things within the control center, which is really, really nice. So you don't have to go to settings every time. And this actually kind of prolongs the battery life overall. And if you do that over a period of time, you'll be saving on battery life on not only Bluetooth, but also Wi-Fi. And it's also just much quicker if you do it that way, instead of going to settings every time. That might be like, oh, I don't feel like doing it. But if it's right there, you can just disconnect from it and be set. So that's something that I really do like. That one is CC modules. Now the next one is probably the best one. I think Force in Picture is probably the best one, but this one is a very, very close second. I feel like those two are tied for the first place. And this one is Gestures 10s, or Gestures XS is what you're going to look up. And it pretty much brings those iPhone 11 gestures onto older phones, just like the iPhone 6s. So when you're scrolling around and you swipe up and you get into the home panel and swipe between apps, you can do that within the iPhone 6s with the Gestures 10s or Gestures XS. And I showcased this on my iPhone 5s video and my iPhone 6 video, and people loved it. People liked seeing those tweaks, and people like seeing this one specifically. And I can tell you right now, that is one of the best tweaks ever. I'm so happy they were able to do something like this onto devices like this. I mean, it's so crazy that they can port over a huge functionality like that into a phone like this. I mean, I understand they're both iOS, they're both iPhones at the end of the day, but that is a really, really cool feature, and I have a lot of respect for those developers who made that tweak, putting it on this. And like I said, it doesn't speed up the phone at all, but it just makes it feel so much newer. And if you felt like you had an older device, wait until you install Gestures XS and also all these other features onto your device. You'll literally feel like you have a brand new phone every time you jailbreak it and install these tweaks. Now the battery life has been pretty much the same as well. I think it might be a little bit worse. I think the main thing is that it heats up a little bit more, so that's why it's making me think it's a little bit worse. But even at the end of the day, I would still take a little bit worse battery life and maybe it getting hot every once in a while than not having these specific features. If I can get all these features, I don't care if I have to plug it in all the time. Okay, just kidding. That would bother me a little bit, but I think at the end of the day, I would highly recommend jailbreaking this phone. Like I said, if you have an older iPhone, it definitely unlocks so many cool features and so many cool little tweaks here and there that'll prolong the life of a phone like this. Whether it's getting iOS 14 or not, you're still going to be able to jailbreak it, which is really, really cool with that checkmark jailbreak. So that's pretty much it. If you want to jailbreak this phone or really any other iPhone, links to those tutorials will be in the description. The repos will be in the description, as well as the tweaks. as well as if you want to buy an iPhone 6s, that will also be linked down in the description. So that pretty much covers it. If you guys have any other questions or anything, leave it down in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. Every single subscriber that we get really does count, so it means so much if you guys could hit that. Also check out the other links down in the description as well. My Twitter, my Instagram, my second channel, all those links are linked down below. I'd really appreciate if you guys could check it out. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.